I love storage.
Yeah.
That's the key thing that any crafter needs and wants is storage. You can't have enough storage. And this set is really fantastic. And also they're very versatile because you can make other things with them as well. Once you start looking at the shapes that you're getting, they come in a template form, which I'm going to take out the packet shortly. But I just want to show you the size of that caddy there. It's massive. And you've got pockets all the way around the outside. Now, what you could do is adapt it and put pockets on the inside as well.
Ooh,
so you can get loads of stuff in there. Now, when I've had this on the show before with Liam, who works here, twice he's been and filled it up with muffins. So I'm a bit disappointed that Liam's not in today, because that means we haven't got muffins in the caddy. But yeah, I forgot actually, I'd have brought something in because I didn't bring any goodies in today for everyone. Nobody's mentioned anything yet, but I'm sure they noticed that I didn't bring goodies in.
Did notice, too polite to say.
Yeah, I've been a bit busy. Busy girl this week. And then the other thing that we get is that workstation one. This is amazing.
Oh, it's brilliant.
This is fantastic. What I should have done, I didn't bring my rotating mat with me because I would have showed you how you actually put this in here. But what happens is your mat fits in here. So I've got my A2 one here, which is the wrong size for this one, but just to give you the effect of what it does is you put your mat of whatever size you want and position these little tabs in here, and then your mat actually stays in the workstation. So you've got your mat on one side, or you could make a ironing mat to fit in there.
Right.
And then in the rest of it, you've got pockets. So the wrong way. So you've got pocket space in here. You've got a little cute little pin cushion, a little case here. You've got this little hanging loop here for your pens.
Brilliant.
More pockets here. So what happens is when you hold it and put it all together and hold it up, if I put it down that way, you can see that it's your carry case. So
Yeah.
you're going to have it like that, open it up, and all of your equipment's in there.
Brilliant.
So it's absolutely great. And then the other one in the set is the sewing organizer. So this is in like a roll. So you've got your ribbon in there. And in this one, you've got, and I love this because this one you can really adapt, which is what I'm going to do today. But again, you've got pockets in here to put your pens in, your scissors in, your rotary cutter. You've got another pin cushion on there, and that poppers off as well. So you've got a popper on there, so you can take that off to your workstation. These I absolutely love. Pop-off zip pockets, how useful are they?
Brilliant.
So you can get all your cottons in there, your bobbins in there, bits of fabric, your fabric scraps. You can put your scraps in there if you're at a workshop, and then you can go take them home. And then you've got extra spaces here for your pens and your scissors. And what you can do is actually put an extra panel in the middle and make it even longer. So if you've got lots of sewn stuff, which most of us have, to be fair,
yes,
you can get loads in there and then tie it up with a lovely ribbon. And the other thing you get in this set is the binding tool. So as an extra, this binding tool is absolutely, yes, it's for finishing your joining your binding. So when you put your binding on your quilt, you're going to get to an end. I mean, I suppose you're not going to see on this with it being stitched down and it's dark. You always join your binding on an angle, because what that does is it dissipates the thickness of the fabric. So it's not too thick and it's easier to sew through. What this little tool is, and it gives you pictorial instructions on it of how to do that. But also I like this next to my machine, just because sometimes, you just want to trim a little edge.
Yeah.
You don't need to measure something, you just want it. You just want to trim it. So this is really handy because it's acrylic ruler. You've got a little ruler here, and you've got a 1/4 inch mark and a 1/2 inch mark. So if you need to mark in from the corner, if your pattern's saying stop 1/4 from the edge,
yeah,
you've got the little mark to do it. So that's
brilliant.
A really handy tool to have in. So I'm going to look at this storage organizer today. So when you get in there, open the package up, you're going to have a number of templates inside, and on the templates, we can see them there. It's got written on which each piece is. And I've got on this one. So remember we had them scissor pockets on here and the side panel of pockets. Now, in the instructions inside, it does tell you which part is for which, and it's highlighted in red. So if you're not sure, have a look in your booklet and it'll tell you in there. To make the project that we've done, it tells you everything that you need to do that. And again, step by step photos.
Brilliant.
Of how to do it. So again, we hold in your hand every step of the way. But what I thought I'd adapt this a little bit and use the new fabric. Yeah. I've got this. So you know you were saying about the I can't say it. Remuneration.
Oh,
what's it called?
Memoration.
That word.
Yes.
So Aycliffe, where we at, is very well known for having one. Often there's a group on Facebook for Aycliffe residents and surrounding areas, and often people will put in there that they've seen the murmuration? Couldn't say that word.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's so cool. I need to find that.
Yeah, so if I find the post, I'll tag you in it to show you. Yeah, it's fantastic. So I'm using that one with the birds on there. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, what you're going to do on here is make your side panels. And I'm actually not going to have a centre panel on mine. I'm going to make it smaller, and I'm just going to use the side panels. So you can see here where I've already cut some out of my fabric here.
Yeah.
But what you're going to do is place it on your fabric. And with this one, because I want the side panel, you're going to trace all the way around your outside to draw your shape. If you were doing one of these pieces, you'd trace in all the grooves, and then once you've taken it away, so if I'll just show you on that, the black should show up on here. You trace all the way around it, and then you've got your cutting line to go around. Now, because you're on a curve, obviously I've already cut mine out, but I just want to show you, because the other thing we've got on the show is the A2 mat. Now, if you're cutting on a curve, if you haven't got a lot of space, leave the A2 mat folded so it's in A3 size. So this is really handy. You can still cut on it when it's folded. And when you've drawn your shape around, what you're going to do is you're going to get your rotary cutter, your 28mm, great for this one, to go around the curve, but obviously you're not going to cut against the template. You're going to cut around. When you get so far, you can turn your mat.
Brilliant.
And you're cutting at a comfortable angle. Nice. You don't want to try and overstretch when you're cutting because you've got a sharp blade in there. So you always want to try and cut away from you when you can. But the mat's great because if you haven't got, and I don't think we've got any stock of the rotating mat because it was so popular, this one will actually move round as well.
Brilliant. So we do have that board with that rotary cutter on the show today. So
and
do shop.
Or the 45mm as well. You can get it with the 45mm if you prefer the bigger one. But that's a really good one. That I say you don't have to have it open. You can leave it folded. Great. So that's a good top tip. Top tip from Bernie. Right, so you're going to cut your outside pieces. So I've cut 2 out of the birds. Sounds like a film, doesn't it, the bird?
Well, it is, isn't it?
Scary, that film.
It's a Alfred Hitchcock, isn't it?
A film or a movie. And then I've cut 2 out of this is the blue of the Plains, Threaders Pains fabric. So I thought it really went well with the birds. It just makes the birds pop, doesn't it?
Yes.
Out of that. And then I've cut 2 of those like semicircles out of there. And then what I've done is I've folded them over to make the little pockets. So all I did here was, here's my semicircle of fabric. I just folded it over, give it a little press, laid it on top of the blue one. You can see there, I've just laid it on, and then I've just done 2 little stitch lines down here. So I've got pockets. I've made some little pockets, and then I've done the same on that side, and I got it so my birds were swirling a nice way as well. So that's going to be the inside of my toiletry roll or makeup roll, whatever you want to do. And then what I want to do is stitch these together. So I'm going to put right sides together. Now, obviously we use cream thread on here on the show because that's what we tend to have on the machine. If I was doing this properly at home, I would use a dark thread. Yes. Because you want to try and match-ish your thread if you can. And then I'm going to take that to the machine, and again, just a 1/4 inch seam just down the centre. And this is making the inside piece.
Perfect.
And then what I've done as well is I've cut another 2 pieces of the bird fabric and a piece of I've put a piece of fusible fleece on the back. Again, you could put wadding on there, using that same method with the stick and spray. Spray the wadding, and then put the fabric over the top and give it a light press.
Okay.
So that's our centre bit there, and we've now got all of those pockets together. And then here's my back piece. Now, I have joined this. You could cut that template on the fold to get this oval piece.
I see.
That would make great placemat shapes, wouldn't it?
Oh, hey, great idea.
Wouldn't it? So you can see how you can start looking at the pieces and make you get different ideas from it. The reason why I didn't with this one is because I knew that I wanted to seam this one because I needed to secure those pockets.
Right.
And had I have done one with a seam and one without, it would have been too big.
Okay.
So that's why I've got the seam in there. There we go. So then I'm going to put my ribbon on. So I'm going to get my ribbon. Now, because I want to wrap it round, I don't want to do it equal. So I don't know if everyone's ever come across this. You've put a ribbon on and you've done it directly in half. You've sewn this bit, and then when you go to wrap it round, one bit's a bit longer than the other. So all I've done is about 2/3. And it'll probably, if that doesn't make sense, it'll make more sense when it's turned through. And then I'm just going to put that exactly just where that pocket is, and I'm just going to tack that down because I don't want that to move. Okay. So again, tack or baste, just a few stitches close to the edge. I'm losing my foot pedal under the table. So don't overstretch when you're sewing. I'll get it back a bit. There we go. There we go. That's it. So it's just tack that down. And then with these, do you know what I'm going to do, Becky? I'm just going to tuck them into one of my little pockets because I don't want to catch them in my seam. But if I tuck them in there out the way, they're not going to get caught. Get in.
Sue's just asked a quick question. Bernie, what type of marking pen do you use?
Oh, so I've got, I think we're out of stock of these as well. They go so quickly. I know they'll be on order. Our Threaders heat erasable pen. Perfect. So you can do chalk, a chalk marker if you haven't got any of those until they're back in stock. At a push, you could use a pencil because it's going to be in your seam, but I wouldn't use a pen because if you use a pen, that ink might transfer to somewhere else on your fabric. So I wouldn't use a pen, but a pencil would be fine because you're not going to, it's going to be in your seam. Yeah. Again, I'm back with my clips. Becky, you need your clips.
I know, they are still available as part of that bundle if you want it.
I'm going to ask you every week now when we are. I don't know when we're not on again next because we've been spoilt at the minute 3 weeks in a row.
I know, it's not next weekend, I know that. But I do think we've got a lot together in July.
Have we? Oh,
I think so.
Exciting. Exciting. Right, so I've just clipped that. If you need to put more clips in, you can. And I'm going to sew all the way around, and I'm just going to leave a gap to turn it through. So I'll probably leave a gap here, well, maybe about 4 or 5 inches, but try and do it on the straight part. Right. It's easier to leave a gap on a straight part for sewing it together later on, rather than on a curve. Curves can be a bit of a pain to sew through. Yeah. So I'm going to leave it on the top edge because that's the edge that I haven't got my pockets. There we go. And again, I'm going to just do a little reverse to secure it, and I'm going to whiz round here, Becky.
Whilst you're whizzing around there, I want to say congratulations to Mo Crafts, who says, hello all, I've placed my first ever softer side order.
Yay, well done.
That's cool. Says, I feel like I stopped sewing after sewing so many masks. Time to enjoy creative sewing. Love this fabric. I've got the bag dye bundle and the templates as well.
Oh, you're going to love them.
Oh, congratulations to you. Yes, take some time to do creative sewing because it's such a wonderful, as I'm sure you know, it's such a wonderful medium. Michelle has said the ombre fabric would make an interesting background for multimedia projects.
Oh, yes, like on a canvas.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
That's it. Once you start looking at fabrics, I think fabric does give you inspiration.
I agree.
Doesn't it?
I
Because
agree.
It totally depends. I mean, that border panel, I mean, I was thinking if you've got like a small window at home and you made a pair of curtains with that, and then the matching cushions and accessories,
Stunning.
be fab, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so I've stitched all the way around there, super speedy, all the way around, left my gap.
Great.
Now, normally you would trim and cut into your curves, but I'm going to go for it because I'm on a mission today to get through all my demos. So I'm just turning it through. This is why you don't want to leave too small a hole, because if you leave it too small, you're going to really, really, really struggle to turn it through. So I'm just going to back all that out. And what I like to do is just run my finger around the curve, and you find then that just helps it neaten and sit well. And then you see I've got my ribbon there that I did. Oh, did I catch it in at the bottom? No. I thought I did there. I thought, oh no, it's me saying I'll put it in there out the way, and then I've gone and caught it. And then I'm going to grab my iron and just give that a little bit of a press and press that seam in there. And then this one's finished as well, almost.
Oh my goodness!
I'm on a roll today.
We're going to have a vote for demo of the show.
Well, these two, yeah, because these two are definitely my finished ones, aren't they?
Yeah. Exciting.
Excellent. Right, so you make it as neat as you can where your curves are. And then I'm just going to give it a bit of a press. Now, you've got a couple of options here for how to close the gap. So you can either hand stitch it with a matching thread, or you can, I'm going to press the seam in. You could do a stitch very close all the way around the outside. Now, I think, and I don't say this very often, Becky, but I think I would hand stitch this.
Oh, right.
Because I'm thinking what thread I've got. Because I don't want to sew it in cream. So I might just pin it for now.
Okay, yeah.
And then if it does win, I'll stitch it up so it can be a finished project. So it's totally finished. But if I just pop a little pin in, and again, this is where a pin or a clip. In fact, it doesn't even need either at the minute, because that's it, is there. Right. So there we go. So what you do is you've got all your pockets to put everything in. You're going to pop everything in, fold it over, and then here where we've got the longer piece, the longer piece goes round once. When it gets to the top piece, look at that, it's the same size. I'm just going to neaten that little one up. There we go. And then you can tie that in a bow. Now, last but not least,
go on.
I'm not sure if we've got the fabric coat on the show.
I'm not sure.
I don't know if we've got fabric coat on.
I think we do.
So, if you've got your fabric coat, or if you haven't, you could use your fabric coat.
Right.
And what this does is it's waterproof gel. So you spread it onto your fabric.
Right.
Let it dry, do another layer, let it dry, do another layer, let it dry. Then put a cloth or a sheet over the top of it, iron it, and it becomes waterproof.
Hey, that's
so if you are using this as a toiletry bag,
brilliant.
You know, if you don't, say you're just going away overnight and you need your toothpaste, your toothbrush, your hairbrush, you know, your moisturiser or whatever, you've got plenty pockets in there to put something in, and then if that's got if it has been made waterproof, but otherwise it will go in the washer. But that's a great idea of putting the...
That's brilliant. Bernie, thank you
so there we go, we're done.
For showing us that. Okay, well, you've got 2 to vote on, haven't you?